from PHNX Sports. He is the great Craig Morgan, who thankfully is still staying on this story. And a major development yesterday, Craig, you broke the story yesterday during Game 7, Florida Panthers, Edmonton Oilers. Alex Meruelo, ex-owner of the Phoenix Coyotes, Arizona Coyotes rather, saying, that's it, I'm done, I'm out, land auction over, rug pulled out from under me, I'm done, keys on the table. From your point of view, like, describe yesterday for us as this story fell into your lap.
Personally, or for the market, Jeff? Because personally, it feels like I just got released from prison. But for the market, listen, I think there were a lot of people who wondered if Alex Meruelo could actually get this done, once he was granted the 5-year exclusive rights window. I think the vast majority of people never expected him to get it done. There was so much political opposition. There were so many hurdles. So I think if you took the temperature of the Coyotes fan base today, it's overwhelming relief, which is a crazy thing to say because the team is no longer here. But that, as you know as well as anyone, just captures what it's like to be a Coyotes fan.
Well, the thing that stunned me when I read your report yesterday, just like how, I'm with you. Like, I don't think that Alex Meruelo was going to work, but he had a window to do this that was longer than the 2 months. That it took him to tap out of this fight. Like, are you stunned at how quickly this all evolved, or did you look at it and say, like, look, nobody wants to work with this guy. Nobody wants to work with this guy in the state. The Arizona Coyotes hockey fans want nothing to do with this guy. Maybe it's just best that this happens sooner than later. Like, did the timing of this, like a couple of months in, did the timing of this surprise you at all?
Well, Jeff, nothing surprises me with the Coyotes anymore, having been around the story. And I appreciate you following along, unlike your partner, by the way, who apparently is being put to sleep by everything that comes. So thank you. And I understand, Elliot. I understand your position as well on this. But listen, with what was going on here in the market, once the Arizona State Land Department canceled this auction, and really in the months or the weeks leading up to that, you got a sense of what the political climate was. I spoke to a spokesperson for Phoenix Mayor Kate Gallego's office. Of course, this land would be City of Phoenix land if Alex Meruelo would win land auction. It was pretty clear that the mayor's office was not going to give Alex Meruelo any help whatsoever. They weren't willing to give him the tax abatements that would have come with the theme park district. I'm not sure he would have been able to get this special use permit. There was a lot of political opposition. And look, you saw the release. There was a lot of anger. I'm not sure that was the way to go about it if you're trying to build bridges with stakeholders, but there underlines one of the key problems with the Alex Meruelo ownership group here. They never built relationships. They never built bridges. It was Alex Meruelo, built his fortune by being a guy who bought distressed assets. And when you buy distressed assets, what you do is you squeeze your creditors and try and pay them less than you can. That sort of approach to business does not work in professional sports. You have to build relationships. He never did it.
And the other thing, and Elliot and I were talking about. Actually, Elliot and I actually talked about this on the podcast yesterday. It was such a huge story. How could you not? And the thing about, in a quote unquote private business that isn't as public as sports, you can get away with certain things that when you're dealing with a sports franchise, you just can't. Because there's nothing really that can happen in secret. Like, there's people like you that are on all of these stories, and everything is happening very much in front of all of your fans and other stakeholders in the project. Maybe we shouldn't be surprised at all to find out that after years of burning bridges, whether it's with the city of Glendale, the old arena, not paying bills, it finally just caught up to Alex Meruelo. The thing that kind of surprised me, though, is I always feel that businessmen like Alex Meruelo are sort of, there's an arrogance that comes along with them that says we can continue to behave this way and nothing will ever catch up to us. Almost like living in this sort of world of denial that you can continue to, rip people off, not pay bills, embarrass yourself publicly. And there almost seems as if there's this aura of nothing is going to stick to us around them. Did you get that feeling from Alex Meruelo? I know that's an obvious question.
Yeah, I got it from him, well, less so from him because, quite frankly, he was not a public figure. That when he spoke at the news conference alongside Gary Bettman to announce the sale of the team, that was the second time he had spoken publicly. The first was at his introductory news conference. So we didn't really get a sense of who he was. But yeah, that's the way he operated. And I remember a conversation that I had with Alex Meruelo Jr., who had a great hand in running this franchise and probably running this franchise into the ground here. He said to me, "We haven't done anything wrong, Craig." And I just was blown
Oh,
away
geez.
by the lack of self-awareness in that statement. And I think they're aware of some of the criticism of them up until now. I think they're really aware of it now, but I don't think they paid much attention to other people's opinions. And I don't think the Morellos took much advice, even from their senior advisors who were telling them at points, this isn't the way to go. He just kept operating the way he had always operated, and eventually it cost him the franchise.
Did Junior run the Twitter account?
He did for stretches.
Because there was always
the
a
time
few.
of day, Jeff.
Well, that's the thing. I would look at a few and I'd say to myself, like, this is the complete opposite of a charm offensive, which is what the Coyotes should be going over at certain points. It was the complete opposite of what they should be doing. And a couple of people have said, like, okay, that's probably Junior tweeting that one. That's Junior tweeting that one. And I just kept saying to myself, like, how many rakes can you step on all at once? It's just like, fold the laptop down, step away from the laptop here, guy, or put the phone down for a little while.
The title that he earned internally with staff was late night admin.
We laugh about it now, but I mean, Arizona's out of an NHL team right now. So Bill Daly essentially saying, like, look, this is like any other expansion market now. I have a hard time believing it's like any other expansion market. I do very much believe that this has, as we like to say, preferred customer status amongst the NHL. The league wants to go back there, and we all know. So what are the steps now that Alex Meruelo is out of the equation here? Oh, and by the way, can he keep his gambling license?
Still? I don't know. There are a lot of residual questions that I need to ask coming out of this.
Okay,
that's one of them. He's still going to own the Tucson Roadrunners, and
so maybe that keeps it.
Yeah, that alone may allow him to keep the license, even though, as I also reported yesterday, the Roadrunners, who tried to play their entire season in Phoenix and then settled for 6 games at Mullet Arena, have pulled back on that as well, and now we're just going to play the entire home season in Tucson. I think that may allow him to keep it, but that's one of many things that I need clarification on. As we move forward, though, and I don't know when the NHL is going to announce this officially. I'm sure Gary Bettman was not happy that this news came out right after Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final and right before the NHL draft. But they're going to have to say something fairly soon, and at that point, we may get some other details of how this goes forward. But I imagine Alex basically has to, first of all, call the NHL if he hasn't already. He probably has, and say, "I'm out." Yeah. And at that point, if that happens, Bill Daly had told me previously, it just becomes like any other expansion market.
So one of my questions then, and again, maybe you don't know the answer to this one, but by surrendering rights to this, to essentially, for lack of a better, to the Arizona Coyotes here, does he surrender the rights to the name, intellectual property, all of that in the process, or does he still retain that?
I believe he does surrender it all, but it's another thing that we need to clarify once the NHL officially announces this.
Okay. Listen, Craig, great stuff, man. I'm so glad you're on the story. We all are. I know it's arduous at times. I know it's frustrating at times, but you've done it so thoroughly and so great that, from this little perch, thank you for staying on this one. I still think it's a big story in the NHL and will continue to be so until there's another team in the desert. Craig, thanks as always for stopping by. You've been a delight covering the story. Thanks so much. Thanks so much for staying on it and not just rolling your eyes and saying, "Oh, I've had enough headaches with this story. I'm done." So thanks, pal.
All right. Great talking to you as always, Jeff. Take care.
Be well. Craig Morgan from PHNX Sports.